2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies, Night City continues to offer the promise of a
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action RPG in a shooter style. The story of the game is great and immersive, with amazing main and secondary characters and different endings. The game was developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2020 to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation. And despite its launch wasn't very good, today the game is immensely better. It's set in a steampunk world in a beautiful and nocturnal city with nice missions, with different ways to approach and impressively good secondary stories, even with possible romances like The Witcher 3. In 2023 the game received a DLC with a new map, characters, and even a better story and missions. So you've played the original game, but didn't play the DLC, you should. They added things that the original game was supposed to have at the launch.
People get caught in the crossfire.
Looking for justice. In Night City. I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us. I'm all ears.
And that's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the biggest adventure of Zelda's series. The game is set in a huge open world with infinite possibilities and a good story. The game was developed by Nintendo and released in 2023 to Nintendo Switch, and so far it's exclusive of that console. What's bad for a side, cause it's a weak console, but Nintendo announced that there will be a better version on Nintendo Switch 2, and it shall run really better there. The game follows Link, a young warrior that's usually searching a way to save the Princess Zelda, and here it's not much different. But this game is impressive in its details, with a huge open map, and infinite things to do, and imagine that everything in this game can be done in a different way, and no, the game won't show you the way, just give the tools. This is the sequel of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I'd say it's not so required to play Breath of the Wild first. This one is bigger, and greater than the first in this style, so, you must play it.
Link.
Pure and radiant, he wields love to shrive clean the hearts of men.
Elden Ring is the apex of a Souls-like game set in a huge and immersive world that suits perfectly with its purpose, a deadly yet riveting and beautiful world where everywhere you go will be rewarding.
A lot of your fellows, they are truly faithful.
They were never saints. They just happened to be on the losing
The
side.
game was developed by the studio From Software, the studio that created this subgenre, with Demon Souls and later Dark Souls 1. Elden was released in 2022, even won the Game of the Year award, and it's available on Xbox One and Series, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Windows, and in the future it'll be released on Nintendo Switch 2, already with the DLC. That's an insane expansion to this already incredible world.
I presume you, too, are keen to know just what kind Miquella is doing.
Elden Ring brings an immersive and challenging experience, the first From Software Souls-like game set in an open world with over than 100 hours of content, with insane bosses, great dungeons, a rich lore, and an immersive and thrilling soundtrack that'll make your time in game breathtaking. An interesting thing about the game is how the universe works. Most of the map is not even required to explore, but everywhere you decide to explore will be rewarding, with a new armor, weapon, magic, or even a whole new dungeon, what makes the game even more alive.
You a Witcher? That monster slayer they's talking about in the village?
About to ask me for help, aren't you? I can help, but I don't work for free.
The Witcher 3 is one of the biggest open-world RPG games ever created. It's set in one of the most interesting and rewarding open world of video games history. Everywhere you go there will be something interesting to explore, finding new items, such as armors, weapons, or even items required to craft different and unique stuff.
I'll not drink with Weaver Lost freaks.
Heard you wondering about my swords. One's for monsters. The other for humans.
The game was developed by the studio CD Projekt Red and released initially in 2015, even won the Game of the Year award in that year, and it was released on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows, but later it was also released on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Nintendo Switch, with a free upgrade for those who had the game on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One.
Thing is, the real beast is something else though.
Listen to me. I rule the largest empire the world has ever known.
Geralt, we should stay out of
In the game you play as Geralt of Rivia, the legendary Witcher of that world, and the characters will hook you in the start of the game. Geralt, Vesemir, and even characters that you'll find along the journey will all show you how impressive the game is. As you start playing, you'll see its beautiful world, with infinite things to do, explore, quests to do, and enemies to fight, all with a lot of charisma and personality, making one of the best games ever created.
Choosing the lesser evil can be hard at times.
Be careful, Geralt.
I'll rip your back off, mutant!
You don't need mutations to strip men of their humanity. I've seen plenty of examples.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece of video games with unbelievable graphics, an immersive story, and simply the most alive world I've ever seen in a game.
Abigail says he's dying, Dutch. We'll have to stop someplace.
Okay, Arthur's out looking. I sent him up ahead.
The game was developed by the studio Rockstar Games, a legendary studio, probably the best one creating open-world action games nowadays, and it was released in 2018 to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows. Unfortunately, there's no upgrade to the current generation so far, but I'm sure it's coming out in some moment.
Nothing more you could have done.
What are we gonna do? We need supplies.
Well, first of all, you're gonna stay here, and you are gonna get yourself warm. Now, I sent John and Micah scouting out ahead.
The story follows Arthur Morgan, a new protagonist of the series, and here, you'll live like a true outlaw in the ending of the 19th century, with incredible characters by your side, making the immersion of the game to be even greater. It's realist in many details, since the gameplay, to the story, and how the whole open world works, since the animals, to the seasons, NPCs, and random events around the world. It'll all make your experience even more alive. So if you're interested in an immersive storyline, this game is perfect.
But we lost some folks. Now, if I could throw myself in the ground in their stead, I'd do it gladly. But we're gonna ride out and we're gonna find some food. Everybody, we're safe now.
I was never meant to be a warrior.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a realistic and immersive medieval experience set in a first-person camera with the most realistic combat ever made in a medieval video game.
Watch out, here we go. Henry, our hero Henry, the fellow who helps his fellow man. His fellow man.
It was developed by Warhorse Studios and released in 2025 to Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and Windows, and if you want to play it, you must know that it's an extreme realistic game in every single detail, combat, story accuracy, and the world itself, with realistic places that were really there in the past. Many are to this day, so it's fun to explore the game and search for these places on internet to see how they're today.
Well, now we're really fucked. You have to fight till the bitter end.
The journey is long, immersive, and slow, so if you don't like realistic games you should take a better look before playing, cause it's really a medieval simulator with a hard but immersive combat system, a good story and a very fun exploration, and can even be useful for you to explore how they lived back then, cause as I said, it's realistic in every detail. It's the sequel of the original game released in 2018, that's also an amazing RPG game, so if you think you'll like it, consider to play the first game first, but the second is better in all aspects and details.
The most adventure I was expecting was a fuck or two.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is an impressive open-world action RPG, with plenty possibilities to choose which path you shall follow, and infinite build styles. The game was developed by Bethesda, and released in 2011, to PS3, PC, and Xbox 360. But throughout the years this game got a lot of upgrades and new versions, and now is available in every platform possible. The game is set in a fanciful medieval land, in a first and also third-person camera, but to be honest, the third person is kinda strange, so it's better in the first-person mode, with all types of creatures, characters, weapons, and possibilities to choose what to do. The new Elder Scrolls is already announced, but I believe it's still going to take a long time to be released. I'd even say 2027 or later, but for now, if you didn't play Skyrim, you should.
You gave your people a new home when your motherland turned bare. You gave the Vikings something to fight for. You have tamed these broken kingdoms.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the RPG Assassin's Creed of the Vikings. The game was obviously developed by Ubisoft and released in 2020 and is available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Amazon Luna. The game is set in Norway and England, and it's probably the biggest Assassin's Creed ever, with a huge map and numerous characters and a lot of quests and side quests. The story is interesting, but as always in the RPG Assassin's Creed game, the storytelling is not that good, but the gameplay and combat is really fluid, with many weapons, armors, and a huge skill tree that allows you to be always evolving the character, that's Eivor, and in the start you'll choose if Eivor will be a man or a woman. Personally this is something that I don't like, cause it feels like the character should be better developed if it was just one, but if you like the gameplay, you can easily play over 100 hours.
Let's go. It's time to capture a kingdom.
Now go, Eivor.
I'll tell you a story, true soul. My life was dismantled piece by piece. And when I tried to buy it back, it cost me everything. I must finish what I started. Death's design will be complete
Baldur's Gate 3 is surely the biggest tactical RPG ever created. It's set in a unique and impressive world with lot of different scenarios, characters, and possibilities. It's serious. It's scary how insane the game can change if you make a small decision. The game was developed by Larian Studios and released in 2023 to Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and PC, and the people that knew the series already knew that it'd be a huge game, but the rest of the world didn't know how good and impressive it'd be, and is now remembered as one of the best games ever, and even got the Game of the Year award at the Game Awards. What is so interesting in Baldur's Gate 3, beyond the graphics, gameplay, and scenarios, is the details. It's even hard to believe that a game could have so much possibilities. For example, if you choose to talk or don't talk to an NPC, it could change a huge part of the game, and that's just one example. Everything in this game will change something. That's wonderful, and believe what I say, this game is going to be remembered for more than a decade as a game that a few people believed in, and the whole world got absolutely impressed by its insane quality.
I saved you. And I'm here to save you again. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god.
The Absolute is more dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live. It threatens the gods, the weave, the very fabric of the universe itself.
Get down there! All right, everybody pays attention. No one gets hurt. Go! Open the door! They'll get worse than hurt!
Grand Theft Auto 5 is so far the last game of the series released, and it's to this day an unbelievable experience, set in a world where everything seems alive.
Don't even think about it!
I'll do it. Okay.
Get in there! Sit tight! I'll handle the plastic! Don't blow yourself up! Pay attention! What's he doing?
It was developed by Rockstar Games and released initially in 2013, but throughout the years it was released in different versions to many platforms, and is now available on PlayStation 3, 4, and 5, Xbox 360, One, and Series, and Windows, and so far it's not confirmed, but I don't doubt of a Nintendo Switch 2 version confirmed in the future.
Go, 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 go!
I got this cabinet here.
Rose, I wouldn't stay in there too long, okay? This alarm is gonna go at some point.
You gotta be kidding me!
The story follows three protagonists, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, all with their traits and personality that together form an unbeatable team of criminals. The graphics and visuals of the game are to this day incredible, with numerous vehicles such as cars, motorcycles, boats, planes, and much more, all of them with their own driving style, some faster, some heavier, some with specific features, and much more. So it's to this day one of the most incredible open world in a video game.
Agent down! Shithead!